Hey there, folks. It's not the E-Man here. And I guess because there's been a lot of talk about Star Trek and whatnot, decided I'd talk about a Star Trek video game, Star Trek Legacy. This is also available on the PC, done by Bethesda Softworks. Essentially, what's unique about this game is it's got, what is this, 5 captains, 3 eras, 1 legacy. So it's like basically follows um, yeah, basically Jonathan Archer's time all the way up to Voyager. I'm assuming. There's a lot of interesting references in here. Yeah. And what is the most interesting thing about this game is this also involves the Borg. Yes, the Borg are involved. There's an outreach. There's supposedly some Romulan. Excuse me, a Vulcan scientist this kind of becomes evil, and then she was like the she becomes the board a board queen or something, and her yeah she becomes a unique board queen that wants to try to she thinks the Vulcan people need to be assimilated in order to in order to express what Sorak, the legendary Vulcan, wanted all Vulcans to be. I guess that well, essentially, it's like, Archer's trying to help her, but then he's like, wait a minute, you're the bad guy, and all this unique stuff. Well, and then not only that, I think we get Captain Picard on the Stargazer. Like, we see that the captain got killed because of some explosion that Vulcan science supposedly started. So we get to take control of the Stargazer for a little bit. That was really cool. Like Picard as a young, his first, because he took over command of the Stargazer when the captain was killed. So yes, Captain Picard's first acting captain role was kind of like taking over the seat and stuff. That was cool. Well, then we have Captain Kirk. Yeah, we also have the Captain Kirk. He kind of has a reference to the Borg. It's unique that they call this Star Trek Legacy. So I think ultimately there is a Borg thing. In Enterprise, there's a few missions. Jonathan Archer era, you kind of fight a bunch of. You forget to fight the Romulans. Essentially, the Romulans are trying to attack the Federation. Well, at the beginning of the Federation, it's like, yeah, it feels like it kind of links it all together. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's still a cool, interesting game. I guess he's used the Enterprise E. Yeah, Catherine Janeway shows up to help you battle the Borg Queen, and then it's like I can never really get past the final level. I feel like that gets way too busy and way too crazy. Yeah, there's one of the most powerful Borg ships ever, and it's like starts coming out, and you're just getting blown to bits. It's like, yeah, I can never really beat it simply because of that. There's so much stuff going on, and you're supposed to do this unique thing or something that's hard to do while your ships are getting blown up. But yeah, but what's cool is you do get to see the ending, even if you haven't beaten it. And it was interesting. There's references to the creation of the Borg, the origins of the Borg are fully explained in this, I think, too, which I thought was kind of unique. Yeah, you see the Vulcan scientist who then injected herself with a nanomachine so she could become the Borg queen, and this whole underlining thing. At the end, it's like it's explained that she wasn't really good. She wasn't really good, and she wasn't really evil. She was just kind of weird. And yeah, that's the biggest thing that kind of linked all this together is the Borg. This particular Vulcan scientist. She kind of revolves around the whole thing. She's you know, unknowingly kind of did stuff. Well, what her experiments that caused that explosion that then killed the captain on the Stargazer, and then Captain Picard took over. It's like, yeah, she had an influence on all of that. It's a very unique thing. I think there was a rumor that they had wanted to do a movie kind of like Star Trek Legacy. Not only that, Legacy was supposed to be the title of a new series that they were supposedly going to do, but now they've since canceled that. So Star Trek Legacy, yeah, it would have been cool to see that name on another show or something. But Star Trek Legacy also expresses what Star Trek is, not what other weirdos are making it out to be. But yeah, it just, if you're a fan of the Star Trek series, you really love this game. If you're a fan of the ships and the space battles and all of that explosions and stuff, you're really gonna like this game. I really like how it kind of reflects how you have shields. Most games have had a hard time doing that, but yeah, shields, everything. Yeah, you can even control the Enterprise D. I think you can control most of the ships. Yeah, they can even play as Captain Kirk on the. I think you could play on the original Enterprise, the Constitution class, not A, B, C, or D. It's the Constitution class. We could say it's technically the Enterprise A, but see Captain Kirk, there's Enterprise and like the later Enterprise. Yeah, up until when Captain Kirk supposedly retires is when you do it because he's trying to get to the bottom of what happens. It's interesting that they kind of show what if Captain Kirk encountered the Borg, and it shows like how primitive the Borg are, but then how advanced they eventually become. It was kind of weird. Like at first, I didn't really know there was anything about the Borg in this, but then all of a sudden, later in the game, you're starting to be like, oh, there's something going on with this woman. Yeah, because the scientist like pushes the Klingons to be at war with the Federation, and yeah, there are times where you got to fight Klingons because the Klingons are a threat to the Federation. You deal with a threat, but then you know that there's still another threat out there, like the main bad guy is still out there, and it's kind of cool at the end. Janeway, Captain, Captain Picard, and all the people in that era like show up and they're able to do that. Yeah, I think they had wanted, as I said, they had wanted to make a movie that was kind of like this, and they also wanted to make a series called Star Trek Legacy that they never did. I remember this was on the PC, and I was kind of bouncing between the PC version and the 360 version. Like, I was kind of like, well, the PC version is a little bit better, but then I was like, no, the 360 version better because, well, I think I had a harder time on the PC with the controls. I thought the controls with the controller were a little bit better. I think some of the controls I remember were not all that great. And maybe there's a lot of interesting things you had to do. Yeah, you had multiplayer. Yeah. Oh, Mad Doc Software and Bethesda. I believe they're not around anymore. Of course, I have this complete of the booklets. The controls. Yeah. Alright, connect to Xbox Live and whatever. I do not know if this one is backwards compatible with the Xbox One or not. I'm not really sure. It's an online one, so maybe it is. I'll have to look it up and see. But I don't believe this is backwards compatible on the Xbox One. Like I said, you could probably find this on the PC somewhere for not a whole lot of money. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Star Trek Legacy. I feel dumb now. I don't think I've talked about this before, but yeah, very interesting game if you're a fan of the all the Star Trek TV shows. Then you're probably really gonna love this. Sorry, there's no yeah. There's no Discovery ships and all that in here, so don't worry about that. No No, Michael Burnham isn't going to come save the Federation in this game. This is essentially the captains and eras and ships that we, as fans of Star Trek, love. So yeah, definitely a great game. If you're a fan of Star Trek, I guess you might try to give this a shot. I don't know how rare this game is or whatever, but I don't think I've actually really seen this game in the wild. Well, heck, this is the copy. I think this is my copy I got back from GameStop way back when. Yeah, because they're starting to have all the retro stuff. Well, as always, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave any comments. Is there any other cool Star Trek games I haven't played? Yeah. Oh, I do have that Deep Space Nine game, The Fallen, on the computer. Yeah, it's the controls are a little bit iffy, so it takes a little bit to play that. Like I tried using a controller, the character just spins around and around. It's kind of an old school game. I think there was like certain someone able to fix it so you could play it on a modern computer. Perhaps I'll play that sometime. It was also based on a book. Yeah, it was kind of a cool because there wasn't many games like like that kind of out at the time that it was made. Yeah, but if there's any other Star Trek games that maybe I should know about, I'd be happy to know about. So I will see you guys later. Oh yeah, and then simply to add, yeah, it's getting rather cold out now again. It says it's 9 degrees out right now. So yeah, supposedly here in Maine we're looking at getting some really chilly temperatures. Uh, yeah, we're kind of holding off a bit on snow. I think we got quite a bit of snow recently over time. Each day, some days we get 1 inch or something. But now we're just in the cold. It's the middle of winter here in Maine. Yeah, it's Maine. It's winter time. I think it might get to 0 tonight, and I think we're looking at maybe negative temperatures, and we're probably in the single digits this coming weekend. We're supposed to be in the single digits. Yeah, winter in Maine. Yay. Yeah. Yay. Anyway, yep, I'll see you guys later then. Catch you guys later. Bye. Oh, bye. Catch you later.